Hey, what's up, guys? It's Cypher, and if you guys are not currently subscribed to the YouTube channel, click that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Ladies and gentlemen, in this video, we're going to be talking about a rocket mechanic that was brought up by a user on the Fortnite competitive Reddit, Brian HQ. A lot of you might have been rocketing yourself and wondering what's going on. Why am I rocketing myself? But I do feel the need to put this out there just so you guys are aware of it. So I want to put it out there so you guys can see it, and also so potentially Epic can see this and maybe adjust the way the rockets work in the game. The way the rockets work with your characters, when you shoot the rocket, it doesn't come straight from the center of your character. It's going to come from the top right of your character. So the reason why we know this works is the rocket is literally inside the wooden wall. But when I shoot, it's going to still just shoot across. We can literally be aiming on the other side of the wall, and when we shoot, we still rocket ourselves. So to visualize this, the rocket's basically coming up about like a foot away from you on the top right of your character. So this is important knowledge to know, but the real kicker comes here where you start utilizing the cone build to shoot rockets through your cone while being protected from the blast, and your opponents can't necessarily shoot you back unless they shoot your hand or your face if it's sticking out from the cone. So I'll explain this here in a second. So you put the cone down, and when you're crouching inside the cone, if you walk to the edge, when you see the X, it's actually going to shoot the rocket through the cone. And that's because the rocket is coming out from the right side and in front of your character. So you're never actually you're not actually rocketing the cone because your hand is sticking out, and therefore the rocket's also on the side. But if you don't see the X, you end up rocketing yourself. A lot of players are using this now, so I want to put this out there so you guys know to watch out for it. If you see somebody with a rocket launcher and they're sitting inside a cone and you walk into this building, you're like, oh, what's this guy doing? Be careful, because they might be able to shoot you with a rocket and you won't be able to necessarily immediately shoot them back. Like, technically speaking, if somebody is like sitting inside a cone and their hand or their head is sticking through, or if they're doing an emote and their head's sticking through, you can shoot them directly. Even if they're not phasing through the cone, you can still shoot them directly, as long as you shoot their character model, if their character model is sticking through it. But this can definitely catch people off guard. So if you see somebody with a rocket and a cone, you got to be careful, because they can shoot a rocket at you through the cone and they won't hurt themselves with the explosion. Thank you guys so much. Like the video. Enjoy the rest of the video. I'll see you guys next time. I thought he was drinking the big pot. Almost every fight is a box fight. Rarely good old build fights. Well, build fights are not inherently good, especially with nothing to catch yourself, nothing to launch away. Build fighting is just for fun. It's not actually something that you should be like encouraged to do all the time. You'll notice that most of the smarter players box fight instead of build fight. In box fighting, smarter players typically win more often. Build fighting, you end up getting third party. That's not a good look. Like, look at this guy. This guy wanted to build fight me, but he didn't even have any mats to build fight me. He just build fought me for no reason. He runs out of mats and dies. If he box fought me, he would have had more mats, and as a result, he might have come out on top or something. You should practice box fighting, chat, this season. Practice box fighting. There's a lot of maps for box fighting, 2v2, 1v1. Practice with your friends. Box fighting is the meta. Build fighting is the old meta. Build fighting, it's good to have build fighting skills, but realistically, in tournaments, you never want to engage in a full-on build fight. It's too risky with third parties. Getting knocked down, it's just way too risky, and it's a big mat waste. What the heck? Oh, I thought he was gonna keep sliding back. He's a gangster, chat. It's hard to tell like how good a player is and how bad they are sometimes. I still don't know if that guy was like really, really good or what. He's just like made some good moves, got a good shot in, but then after that, it's just all went downhill for him. Poor guy. If they build one wall, bot, two walls, booga. One wall equals bot, two walls equals booga. That's the that's the threshold where you guys. Okay, so like the term sweat has obviously been overused and oversaturated, and it's kind of stupid now. But I can explain to you, like, there is a difference between a really good player playing well and playing to win and then a sweaty player. But like, to be honest with you, like, I feel like it's a sore spot for some people because some people might identify as the sweaty player and then they're like, well, it's not something that you should be ashamed of. There's a difference. There's a difference. Like okay, if somebody, like when I call somebody a sweaty player, right? Sometimes it's out of salt. Like, I'm just salty that they're playing well, so I call them sweaty, whatever. But there are times where you go against a player who's playing sweaty, but they're not playing well. They're playing sweaty. There's a difference. There's a very, very fine difference between a sweaty player, good player, pro player, player playing to win, player playing for fun, whatever, right? There's certain things that people sometimes do that make me categorize them as a sweaty player. Oops. What just happened? How did he fall? Okay, I can give some really good examples, actually. I can give some really good examples. It's not that complicated, right? It's really not that complicated. Let's say you start build fighting somebody and they don't take a single shot at you. They just keep cranking and cranking and cranking, and they're doing phase sway retakes. Wow. He drank a big pot right in front of me. Put the controller down, buddy. Your time is up. All right. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So say you're build fighting somebody and they have height on you and they just keep cranking and cranking and cranking, and they're not slowing down and they're not letting up. They just keep cranking all over you and they're never taking a shot, and they're clearly skilled and building out their mines and using all their mats, and every time you try to get near them, they just keep cranking up. So that's a sweaty player. He's not a good player. Inherently, he's not making good decisions because he's wasting his mats and overbuilding. But he's good enough to where he's cranking out these cool, like, wall retakes and clearly practices his builds a lot, to the point where you would consider him a skilled individual. But all that cranking is leading to nothing. disappointed in myself. That was a sweaty player right there, right? So he's a sweaty player. Does that make sense? A good player would have dropped, like a really good player would have dropped. Obviously, over the building and stuff was to try to get away from me, and it somehow worked. But like a good player would have dropped down and realized what I was doing, that I was trying to drop him in. But a sweaty player just keeps building, and hopes that, you know, I don't know, God will come down and escort him to the victory royale screen. I knew his first bullet through was gonna hit me. It's so annoying. Don't storm fight me. Don't storm fight me, bro. That guy really had to hit me, huh? There might be maybe advantage in one of these. Oh, I was hoping for that big pot. Oh my God, this guy's desperate. How did that first one not hit him, bro? Dude, this guy's the luckiest man alive. Take that dub, chat. I'll take it.
I feel like I have to earn that one, man.